In this video, I'm going to show you how to eat right in a food desert. If you want to control what you eat, control your body, and control your mind, then hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video. You've probably heard the term food desert before. It's usually in an area of a large urban city, usually the poorer neighborhoods that don't have large supermarkets like Walmart or Kroger or Wegmans or Safeway, Vons, whatever it is. And so people don't have a lot of options. They don't have access to fresh produce. They don't have access to the bulk section or good meat. I'm going to debunk that in this video because I'm going to show you that you can eat right anywhere you go. In my job, I'm constantly on the go, and I have stopped at gas stations and convenience stores before to find something to eat, because a lot of times my car gets too hot or too cold and it's not always convenient to pack healthy lunches or healthy meals and keep them at a stable temperature. Even if it were, it's still kind of a hassle because I've got to put everything in Tupperware and then transport it everywhere, and then I've got to clean everything. So yes, I'm like everybody else. I trade nutrition and quality for convenience sometimes. I've seen a lot of patients in sketchy neighborhoods and sketchy parts of town. I won't say which areas, but they were areas I would definitely not want to live in. But even those areas had convenience stores and gas stations and some drugstores and some mini marts on the corner where I could find something reasonable to eat, and I've collected some stuff here to show you what I found in those markets. So after watching this video, you'll be able to eat right wherever you go, and you won't be able to pull the food desert card ever again. Okay, let's look at some of our healthier options. I found some almonds. Now, I will say I got these at Walmart in the big bag. Every gas station I've been in has bags of walnuts and almonds and pistachios at the front. They usually have the salted version. They don't have the unsalted type all the time, but salt is probably not as bad as they tell us it is. So you can get your healthy fats right here. I also found some fruits and vegetables. Yes, fruits and vegetables. Although actually just fruits. I didn't see any vegetables in this place. But I got an orange. It's kind of a sad looking orange, but I'll probably eat it at some point. I also found this red apple up front. Again, not the best apple. If you go into a 7-Eleven, you're not there to shop for produce. You're usually there to get some donuts and some coffee and some candy bars, and I'll show you some of the unhealthier options in a little bit. I also found some beef jerky. Now you can see beef jerky isn't very healthy because it has, I don't know, carcinogens or whatever, or a ton of salt. This actually has quite a few carbs, so if you're on a really strict keto diet, you probably don't want to have the beef jerky. You might just want to buy your own. Beef jerky, it's not my favorite, honestly, but it does have that salty, chewy texture to it. It is a nice alternative to all of the cheap carbs that are abundant in these kinds of stores. I once had a patient who gave me deer jerky, like venison jerky. It was basically just pure protein, and he put them in these big little sticks. It was so good. It was one of the best things I've ever had. Makes your breath smell a little bit, so make sure you have some Listerine strips with you just to make sure, especially if you're on a date. You don't want to eat beef jerky on a date. Not the best thing. This is the teriyaki kind. They have a bunch of other different flavors, and also this is kind of expensive. This was $4 or $5. The big bag, I think it's like 10 ounces or whatever. That's 15 bucks. It's not the cheapest thing. Speaking of fruit, I've also found plenty of bananas. I got 2 yesterday for the price of $1, which is not the cheapest. Remember, you're not going to these places to save money. That's the point I want to make. I see people buying stuff, like entire bags of food, at 7-Eleven or at the Chevron station. I'm thinking, why are you doing that? You're spending such a huge premium for the convenience, and you're paying more per unit because you're getting the small packages. Everything's more expensive at a gas station. I don't know why people buy large volumes of food there. It's okay to buy like a couple things. Maybe you're on a road trip. Maybe you just want to buy a bottle of water that's cold because you don't want a hot bottle of water. It's usually not the healthiest thing because the plastic can leach into the water, is what I've heard. I guess I've been raising my cancer risk for the last 4 years. But it doesn't make sense to buy stuff at these places. Just go to your local grocery store. Even places like Safeway, which is not the cheapest, it's going to be a lot cheaper than it is at a gas station. I don't get it. And one of the other options they have are protein bars. These are also way more expensive at a convenience store than they are at the grocery store. It's a matter of scale. You know, you can buy more units if you're a grocery store than if you're a gas station. So gas stations are going to charge you more for this stuff. This is a MedRx protein bar. I think it's like the chocolate chip cookie dough. This actually isn't that bad. They use a lot of fake sugars in this because they're trying to keep the carbs down and maximize the protein. This is the big 100 because it's 100 grams and it has 30 grams of protein. Not bad. The apple pie flavor is also really good too. But they have other stuff. They have like the pure protein, the Robert Irvine bars, the power bars, the Clif Bars, the Clif protein. I have counted so many different protein bars, I've lost track over the years. But if you want something that's reasonably healthy and it's not just a bunch of simple carbohydrates, this is a good alternative to the candy bars, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. For a healthy beverage, you have your option of orange juice. There you go. Calcium with vitamin D. There you go. You get your calcium and vitamin D at a convenience store. Who knew? Keep in mind, I bought this stuff at a gas station and a convenience store that wasn't in the best area of town. It wasn't in some ritzy area. This was in a very Asian part of town. It's not necessarily low income and it's not sketchy, but it's still, you wouldn't drive through and think, oh man, the people here have a ton of money. And I got, you know, this orange and this apple, and I got the banana. I don't know what happened to the banana. I think I already ate banana, so I can't show you that. Other good beverages include chocolate milk. You can also get the regular milk too. I know a lot of people like to knock chocolate milk because it has a lot of carbs. Yeah, but you know what? It's low fat, high protein, has your calcium, it's got some potassium in it. It's not the worst thing to drink. Keep in mind, the whole point of this video is to show you that you have choices. Wherever you go, you're gonna have choices. Even if you don't have a lot of options. And a lot of times you're not going to have the most nutritious meal you can possibly have. You're not going to have the kale with the quinoa and the organic raised chicken that ate natural feed on a happy farm somewhere. That's not always possible. I mean, you should strive for that wherever you get it, but sometimes you're just going to find yourself in situations where it's not always possible to eat healthy. Airports, conferences, ballparks, parties. Deal with it. You can't stick to this regimented meal plan that calls for the super duper healthy ingredients all the time. You should try to do that once a day when you're at home and you can prepare something. But a lot of times life gets in the way and we have to trade nutrition and quality for convenience. I can't emphasize that enough. And in my job where I'm always on the go, it doesn't make sense to pack 3 or 4 plastic containers of really healthy food and then it melts or it gets hot or it gets too cold and it's not really good, and then I have to clean everything and then I have to do it again. I don't want to do that, okay? And I'm teaching health and I do that. So keep in mind, trade-offs are a part of life, and it's the same with nutrition too. But look at all the good stuff I found, even at a gas station in the middle of town, not even the best area of town. You know, I've got my orange juice, I've got my protein, I've got my beef jerky, I've got my fruit, I've got my nuts. That's not bad, okay? And I didn't have a lot of options at these places. I had to be kind of creative. Another perennial favorite of mine is the good old Clif Bar with the sweet and salty peanut butter and honey and sea salt. This flavor came out, I think, last year. This has to be my favorite one. I've had a bad history of Clif Bars. I've eaten 6, 7, 8 in a row. I remember eating an entire box in the car, and there were like Clif Bar wrappers all over the place. I remember eating a couple of these before I got to the checkout. Now, think of how embarrassing that was. But hey, that was my choice. I wanted that damn Clif Bar. I had my first Clif Bar in 2006, and I'm still eating these things. So thank you, Clif. I know some of you are probably thinking, oh, but it's got all these carbs. Yeah, but they also put a lot of vitamins and minerals into it, and it's actually a good balance of fat, carbs, and protein. If you break down the macronutrients, it's not as bad as you think. And if you buy these in bulk, you can get 12 of these for $12. That's not too bad. When you're on the go and you don't have access to a kitchen and all of the best ingredients, sometimes you just have to eat something that's convenient. Ask people in the military, what are they eating? They're eating the next best thing. A lot of times, that's just what you have to do sometimes. All right, let's look at the junk food that you can buy there. My favorite one is soda. Yay, vanilla Pepsi. I could drink this all day, but I don't because it's terrible for you. But yeah, you walk in, there's just refrigerators everywhere filled with bottles and bottles of Pepsi. You're way better off buying one of these things, right? This is the big jug of water. Got this at a gas station too, right? Got this off of the I-5, 2 gallons. It costs more than what it costs at Walmart or Target or whatever, but it's water, and it's gonna be better than this thing. I should make a whole video about soda. In fact, I'm thinking about that now. All right, and then they also have lots of this stuff, Milky Way. They have about 5 or 6 different flavors of these things. Remember, Milky Way is really just a less glorified version of this. So the MedRx, it's kind of like a candy bar, same wrapper, about the same size, about the same weight. How much is this? It's like 88 grams or something. But this has way more protein, a lot more vitamins and minerals. This is just pure pleasure. This is pure decadence, okay? So when you want to be bad and sinful, you eat something like this. But really, if you have 2 choices, which one are you going to take? This one probably tastes a little better. In fact, it does, I'll tell you that. But this one's not bad. You're not sacrificing a lot of taste, and the macros on this are way better than what you're going to get on this. One thing I've noticed about really processed food like Milky Ways is that they have no protein. For 230 calories, this only has 4 grams of protein. That's really pathetic. That's really low. Also, one of my favorites are the Fritos, the chips. They have tons of chips, an entire aisle of chips. So we've got chips, we've got candy bars. What was the other junk food? Oh, they had lots of cookies. Okay, they also had the donut rack there, so you could like use the tongs and grab your donut. They also had hot dogs and Slurpees and slushies. They also had a lot of Mexican treats too. There's this big bakery in Mexico called Bimbo. You've probably seen their trucks driving by, and they've got that. It's like a white bear or something that's always smiling. I forget. I should have taken a photo for this, but it's called Bimbo, and they've got the conchas. You know, the Mexican bread. It looks like a seashell, but it's just a giant piece of bread, just filled with sugar, really. And then they have they have the little donut packets, and then they have all of these different types of Bimbo treats. Other items you should not buy in a food desert include lottery tickets, cigarettes, and alcohol. Lottery tickets and cigarettes, really, you might as well just take the cigarette lighter and burn your money, because you're not going to win. Some of these convenience stores also had prepared meals too. They were just in those little packets, and they had some ranch dips, some vegetables, some crackers. Not the best thing, but not that much worse than what you would find on an airplane or in an airport. Again, it's all about convenience. People walk in, they walk out, they just want something that's quick to eat. That's not always the best thing, but that's the modern life. If you don't have to shop at a gas station or convenience store, don't. The customer service is not always the best. There's no self-checkout. And the people there are always buying 5 or 6 different things. You wait in line 5 minutes, and all you want to buy is your stupid apple and your protein bar. And you're just standing there. You have nothing to do because some guy at the front is buying 6 lottery tickets, and he can't decide what to buy. There was an old movie called Clerks, and it's about this guy named Dante, and he's the cashier at this gas station in New Jersey. And everybody just walks in and buys cigarettes. That's all they buy is like, back of cigarettes, back of cigarettes. Well, that movie was made about 25 years ago, and nothing has really changed. That's all people buy. They're always buying coffee, cigarettes, and lotto tickets. Coffee, cigarettes, and lottery tickets. Coffee, cigarettes, and lottery tickets. It's really obnoxious. What I'm saying is the clientele in these places is not always the best. Also, absolutely never use a gas station restroom. They're absolutely horrible. I don't recommend them at all. You were much better wetting yourself or something, or getting an empty bottle of soda and taking a leak in that. Maybe that's not possible for the ladies, but if you're a guy, seriously, don't ever go into a gas station bathroom. Who knows what's in there or who's been in there. It's the creepiest place in the world. I remember I walked into an Arco station. I think I was in Arizona, and I walked into the restroom, and there was crap all over the toilet. I'll never forget. It was one of the most horrifying scenes I've ever seen in my life. Needless to say, I did not use that bathroom. If you don't live in a food desert, you're much better off going to any type of grocery store. Even discount grocery stores aren't that bad, the flies on the fruit notwithstanding, but I've been to ethnic grocery stores, Latin grocery stores. I've been to some of the smaller grocery stores, and I've still found some good stuff. You can still get your produce, you can get your rice, you can get your beans, you can get your meat. You don't have to go to Whole Foods or Wegmans or some high-end retailer to eat right. Eating right is always a choice no matter where you are. The idea is that people in food deserts don't have access to fresh produce. Well, the fact is they still can make better choices than what they're making. They don't have to drink the 44 ounces of soda. They don't have to eat tons of candy bars. They can eat something that's a little more nutritious than what they're already eating. Remember, second best choices. A lot of times that's your only choice. The other thing about food deserts, I've never seen them. I've worked in places like South LA, also some sketchy areas in Sacramento and some other cities. Even the poor neighborhoods have their own local grocery store. They have places like Aldi, they have Save Mart, they have these other low-end grocery stores. Are they the best grocery stores? No, but they definitely have everything from every food group. Maybe they don't have all of that fancy granola. Maybe they don't have pizza with quinoa crust. Who cares? You can still make healthy choices in these places. If you know about a food desert, let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to visit that area. So let's review. What should you buy at a convenience store or a gas station in a food desert? You should definitely go for the juice, the protein bars, these kind of healthy energy bars, the beef jerky, and the nuts. And of course, water for hydration. There's no reason to drink anything else. Condoms are another good choice too. What should you not buy in food deserts? You shouldn't buy soda, processed food, lottery tickets, alcohol, cigarettes, or porn magazines. Personally, I don't know why you would want to shop in a gas station or a mini mart or a convenience store when you can just go to a grocery store and find what you need. If you're a school kid and you don't have access to transportation, then I guess it makes sense. But if you have access to transportation, then just drive yourself to a grocery store and get what you need. If you're struggling with binge eating, overeating, or you have bad eating habits, then head to my website, saneaters.com. I have some free training there that will show you how to take control of what you eat for good. If you want to speak with me personally, there is a link in the description box below. Don't forget to check out some of my other videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.